It deals with RERA.
Okay.
It deals with the Karnataka Apartment Ownership Act. It deals with the Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act as well as Karnataka Society Registration Act. The court said, look, KOA, which is the 1972 Act, is only for owners and it's not for allottees. So what the RERA did, which is very interesting, I thought.
Hi Sneha, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
The last conversation that we had was very interesting. We had a lot of interest on YouTube and other channels. And recently we were discussing about a judgment that was passed by Hon'ble Mr. Justice Suraj Govindraj. You said it was a very interesting judgment and we thought we'd have a conversation about that. Do you want us to understand on a high level what it is and then we'll dig deep? Give us a basic understanding of the conversation they had and what was passed, and then we'll dig deeper into it.
Sure. So the crux of the issue was regarding society under the Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act.
Okay. So this was something that people have not been talking about. Earlier there was a lot of conversation on the Karnataka Apartment Ownership Act.
Correct.
So this is something similar but different.
Yes. So the good thing about this judgment is it deals with RERA.
Okay.
It deals with the Karnataka Apartment Ownership Act. It deals with the Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act as well as Karnataka Society Registration Act.
So all the
legislations.
four, even KOFA.
And KOFA. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So all the legislations have been dealt with. So I feel in terms of clarity to a lot of apartment associations or owners of flats, it's a fantastic judgment in that sense. It's analyzed really well, briefly done, but also there are all the relevant details.
Okay. What is the crux? Let's start with what the problem was and then let's go into it.
Yeah. So the facts were, this is actually a very typical case where some bits of the apartment were constructed, some were not. So this is, I think, around 5.5 acres of land where there were 5 towers, A to E. B, C and D were completed.
Okay.
A and E, the 2 towers, were not completed.
Okay.
So what happened is, the 3 towers which were completed, they formed an association under the Karnataka Society Registration Act, 1960.
Okay.
Now the 2 incomplete towers also formed a separate association under the Karnataka Society Registration Act.
Okay. Same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
So the 3 towers which were completed formed this association and started collecting maintenance.
Correct.
The 2 incomplete towers formed an association under the Karnataka Society Registration Act and they went before RERA. They filed a complaint before RERA
Okay.
saying that please direct the promoter or the developer to complete the towers and the project.
Okay.
So what the RERA did, which is very interesting I thought, they directed the promoter to complete the project. They also said that you need to go register or form a society under the Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act.
Are you saying that RERA has told all the 5 towers or only these 2
No, only
towers?
the incomplete towers.
Okay.
There was a general direction saying that allottees, please go and register yourself under the Karnataka Society Registration Act. But I've also not looked at the RERA order. I'm only going by the very limited reading of what is mentioned in the judgment.
No, you use the word allottees.
Allottees.
So it's a new word. Do you want to differentiate between allottees and owners?
Yeah.
Because you use the word allottees and you also mentioned that it is incomplete. So is there a connection between allottees and incomplete?
Yes. So I'm coming to that because this is actually one of the questions that the court answers.
Okay.
But I'll cover the facts and I'll jump into that quickly.
Sure. Okay.
So that direction was given and a society was formed under the Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act.
Correct.
In the meantime, there was, I think, the 2 Society Registration Act, the Allottee Association and the Owner Association came in some kind of conflict. There was also a complaint filed before the Registrar of Society saying cancel the registration
Okay.
so far as the completed towers society is concerned, because under Karnataka Society Registration Act, you cannot collect maintenance.
Okay.
And the Registrar of Societies cancelled that registration as well.
Okay.
So because all these people under various associations and all of that happened, there was too much of conflict and everybody were at loggerheads. So through challenging the RERA order and through challenging the society's, cancellation of the registration certificate is concerned, everybody came to the High Court,
Okay.
saying that please help us decide. the most important question that they all sought for, other than, let's quash this order, give us this kind of a direction, they said, direct all the parties and the promoter to form an association under KAOA.
Okay.
That was a unanimous kind of a prayer sought for by all of them.
So this is both the warring parties
As
and,
well as the,
and RERA. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, not RERA, both the two different,
warring
the complete
parties
towers and the incomplete tower
towers.
owners.
Got it, yes.
Now, the first question, like the question that you asked, is something that the court dwelled into.
Okay.
It said there is a difference between.
Sorry, before we go there, let me just, because this is kind of complex, I will try and paint a picture of the understanding. There is a society that's being built, 5 towers. 3 towers are completed, 2 towers are in progress. Both of them form societies under the Karnataka Society Registration Act 1960. One is complete, one is not complete. Then they approach RERA.
The incomplete.
The incomplete section of the project approach RERA. RERA suggests or directs them to form a society under the Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act.
Yes.
And then they all approach the court.
Yes. So the faction of incomplete towers also files an application.
Okay.
Before the registrar of society seeking for cancellation.
And that
of the
gets cancelled
registration.
also. That gets cancelled. And then they approach the court.
They all come together.
And
Challenging
saying that they ask them to form it under the KOA.
Of course, there were other issues as well.
Yeah, but this is what we're talking about in this.
Yes.
Perfect. Now let's go back to what we were discussing, allottees versus owners.
Yes. So what the court said is, the court said, look, if you are, so the primary difference between an allottee and an owner is an allottee is a person to whom a flat is allotted but not yet sold.
Okay.
Because either your project is incomplete or you don't have an OC. Therefore, the sale deed is not made in your name, but an agreement to sell is there.
Okay.
But an owner is somebody who has the sale deed.
Okay. So the rights between an allottee and an owner slightly varies.
Slightly varies in terms of law, and their rights are also very different.
Okay.
So the court said, if you're an allottee, you can go before RERA.
Okay.
However, you need a sale deed if you're an owner. That's the distinction between the two. Now, coming to the question of the allottees coming together to form an association under KOA or Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act. The court said, look, KOA, which is the 1972 Act, is only for owners and it's not for allottees. If you are an allottee, as mentioned under RERA, you can form a society under the Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act.
Correct.
However, as an allottee, you cannot form an association under the Karnataka Apartment Ownership Act.
Okay.
So that point was very, very clear. The court also looked at other questions.
Sorry, this brings the question that this is a project that is under construction, right? So what happens after an allottee becomes a owner?
So I will actually answer that question towards the end.
Okay.
Because, in fact, in this judgment, the court goes into how, when you form an association under the Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act, thereafter you can continue that society and collect maintenance, subsequently becoming an owner as well.
Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act can actually collect maintenance.
Yes, which has anyway been the case in terms of law.
There is a judgment on that.
Today there is a judgment that clarifies, because Karnataka High Court previously had also said Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act is applicable for commercial units only.
Okay.
So this judgment also clarifies that particular aspect.
Got it.
Now the first question was allottee of association can only be formed under Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act, not under KOA. That was clarified.
Okay.
Next is whether there is any conflict between RERA and KAOA, which is your 72 Act.
Correct.
And the court said, no, there is no conflict. RERA applies to disputes during construction and also for developers, for developer disputes pre-construction or during or pre-construction or pre-ownership.
Pre-ownership, okay.
Pre-ownership. However, KOA applies post-construction once the apartment is sold and when the property is for maintenance.
Okay, so then if I'm a homeowner and I'm taking over, so we are talking about a whole society, But this also means that it has an impact of a homeowner. Because a homeowner cannot go before RERA if he's already signed a sale deed.
No, that's not what I mean. We're
Okay.
talking about associations. Now,
Okay.
associations are also bodies that can approach the court of law.
Correct.
Right? So there is a slight distinction here. I'm now particularly referring to association or society formed under Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act and association formed under KAOA. Now, association formed under KAOA happens once you become an owner.
Correct.
Therefore, the association cannot go and file a complaint before RERA.
Okay, so association cannot file a complaint against.
An individual home buyer, of course.
Can.
Suppose I have a sale deed and let's say there's been a delay in handing over possession. I can go even though I have a sale deed saying please pay me compensation as far as RERA is concerned.
That needs clarity because if people, there are two bodies here. One is the KAOA society that is registered and also an individual.
Yes.
Right, okay, got it.
So, the reason that KAOA cannot go before RERA is because pre-construction or during construction, you cannot be an owner or you cannot be a member of KAOA.
Got
Because KAOA, you become a member only once you have ownership.
So, Apartment Ownership Act, so
Yeah.
only after an
After
owner.
ownership. So, during or pre, you can't, I mean, you are not even a body. So, how can you go approach RERA? That's basically,
Okay.
the point here.
What if there's an ad hoc committee?
Correct. So an ad hoc committee can go.
Okay.
You can be like a voluntary consumer association.
Okay.
That option is there.
Okay.
We're specifically saying KAOA pre-construction or during construction cannot approach RERA because the act only comes into effect when I become an owner and when I submit my apartment
Got it.
to the act.
Got it.
So which is why the court says, look, if you're an Allottee, you can go and register a society under the Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act, which RERA also prescribes.
Correct.
So that clarity has been established.
Okay.
Also, there is no conflict between RERA and KAOA.
KAOA.
That's also been decided because KAOA applies post construction and when you're maintaining the common areas, which is
We'll come to that
Yeah,
little
we'll come
later,
to that. But in terms of dispute between RERA, it's KAOA cannot.
There is also now KOFA.
KOFA.
Yeah.
Right. So the court also looks at conflict between RERA and KOFA. When I say conflict, there are certain provisions that overlaps. Like certain provisions in KOFA overlaps with certain provisions with RERA. Because
you may want to explain what is KOFA.
KOFA is Karnataka Ownership of Flats Act.
Okay.
This came in 1972.
Okay.
And RERA, of course, came in 2016.
Yes.
So, KOFA already had some clauses so far as during construction, pre-construction is concerned, which RERA, of course, came in as a legislation bringing a lot of clarity. Because there are some sections which overlap in both these acts, and RERA has a section which says, notwithstanding anything, so it's a non-obstante clause, that's what they call in law, which basically means that notwithstanding any other act, this applies.
What does that mean?
Which means that the provisions of RERA override the provisions of KOFA so far as wherever there is conflict.
Okay.
So if there is, when I say conflict, if the two sections are saying something slightly different, what prevails?
Okay, what? Got
Right?
it.
So then RERA prevails, is what the court said.
Okay.
So there is a bit of conflict, is what the court observed, and it said, look, wherever there is conflict, RERA will prevail, not KOFA.
Okay.
Even if you are registered under Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act, because in a previous judgment of Justice Govindraj, he said that if